If you ever find yourself in a place where your desire conflicts with God's desire, and you chose yourself, you chose your own will, you chose to go your own way, what you actually abandoned is not God's counsel. You walked out of life, because it is actually his counsel that guides you on the path of life. The only thing you can see is today, but God's counsel measure 20 years to come into everything he tells you. You see this voice of divine direction, many don't live by it. So experience is their teacher. They go and crash, and when they get up like Solomon, they now say, don't try this thing that I just tried. The challenge with this way you are living is that there are some things you will not live to advise other people from. It will swallow you up. Aside finding his voice of divine direction, which is, in my opinion, one of the most healthy diagnoses of a true spiritual man, you have secured the voice of God. You know the voice. It guides you into all that you do. Your actions, your fraternity with men, everything you are doing is as inspired by the voice of God. So it guides your every action. It inspires your options, and the things you commit yourself to is now influenced by that voice that you have secured. If you don't know the voice and you have never heard the voice, I recommend studying the Bible strongly. When you are reading the Bible, that voice you are hearing inside you as you are reading it, that's the same way the voice of God will sound. Have you tried to read the Bible without saying it loud before? As you are reading it, you'll be hearing somebody reading inside you. That voice of that person reading there. Are we together? Stay on it for long. Then you start hearing that same voice that you used to hear when you are reading the Bible. You will hear that voice will tell you, don't touch that indomie this morning. You now say, boy, it's not written in the Bible that thou shalt not eat indomie. That's the most beautiful place to start operating the life of God from. You will start seeing that God can guide your every move, every single decision. There are seasons where he will put weight on you. The carnal mind can never hear the voice of God. As long as God is concerned, even if God talks from now till tomorrow, he will not pick anything. He has been cut off from that economy. The voice of God will ensure that you arrive destiny safe and sound, because it is the compass for the saints. It guides us by that voice. The voice of God is the most accurate tool of diagnosis as it actually pertains to this end time. As we are dealing with many deception, many falsehood that are paraded everywhere, the most accurate diagnosis of the presence of God is the voice of God. That's why you find prophets like Elijah. He said he heard the earthquake. The Lord was not in the earthquake. He saw the fire. The Lord was not in the fire. He saw the wind scat. The Lord was not in the wind. But he says, then he heard a still small voice, and he wrapped his face quickly. In other words, the Lord is inside the voice. Jesus says, my sheep hears my voice. It is my voice that they use to know whether I am the true shepherd or it is an impostor that is coming. It means if you don't know that voice, you will fall for deception easily. If you don't know that voice, a stranger can speak and you will carry it as the counsel of God. How do you think, Apostle? That voice have separated me from many terrible things that could have bedeviled me. Things Satan has concocted, things he had planned. People have come before me with business proposals. The presentation was too perfect. When you look at it cognitively, everything checks, the boxes tick, but the voice said no. And I watched everybody who dived into that investment. I watched them lost. They lost all their possessions. My bailout was the voice. That voice. Young man, young lady, you have your life ahead of you. Don't ignore that voice. You will make many blunders. Some mistakes will demand years before it can be corrected, if it can. It is not for man that walketh to direct his step. Why are you trying to be strong on your own? It is not given to man that walks to direct his step. You will hear a voice. It is not for man. It is not for man that walketh to direct his steps. It is not. It is not. It is not. You can't direct yourself. A voice will whisper. Listen, look at me. If you journey the path of obedience as you receive God's counsel by his voice, a time will come. You will not only be preserved, you will not only prosper as a proof that you have the very counsel of God with you. You will literally become an ark of safety in your generation. Men will be looking at you. Any step you take, that's what they will do too. They believe through experience that your feet are ordered, it's guided by the Lord. So they know that you are receiving blueprints from God. So anything you do becomes a norm. At that point, you become a leader over a generation. Because that voice has made all your decisions consistent with wisdom. The voice of God. Labor to get that voice. Hear it. So that you don't need to go and take a retreat of 21 days to know whether the answer is yes or no. The more you are actually obeying it, the easier it is for you to hear him now on every matter. My name is Beatrice. I'm a resource person with blah, 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 blah. The voice just tells you it's not a part of your destiny. Everybody is saying, did you get his number? Your story and his own never aligned. From the studio of eternity, you were never connected from there. So if you enter into that fraternity, it will lead. They came to Jesus and said, we want you to be our king. Jesus looked at the matter. King. Savior of the world. If I become a king now, imagine they now catch a king with his crown. They now flogged a king. Look at me. That kingship they wanted to give Jesus would have been a distraction. Because the moment he becomes king, he will now have a new responsibility. The welfare of. Meanwhile, Satan knows. He knows that a man that has found focus in destiny, the only battle you can bring against him. If you bring resistance against a man of focus, he will intensify his zeal. But when you see a man in focus, the only way you can actually disorient him is pleasure. Give him pleasure.